Hi, I'm Dominique Duarte. I'm a singer actor who lives in Brooklyn, New York, and this is Southern Girl in the City. Welcome. So this week has been pretty good, a little bit of a mix. I worked both of my jobs. I worked at Tribeca Rooftop twice this week, and then I worked my full-time job 3 days. Um, on Friday, I interviewed for a full-time position with the potential of a salary, but I didn't get the position. For now, I think I'm just going to continue working at the public school. I work with fourth grade classes, four fourth grade classes, and it's not a salary, it's an hourly position, but I like the school. I think the kids are really cool. And I think that maybe it's best to just be still right now and not try to get another job. I think I'm good. Like I went from losing a job to gaining 2 to 3 jobs. So I think I'm okay. Um, Tribeca is putting me on the schedule. I'm on 4 days next week, so I'll probably be working about 50, 60 hours next week. But the debt's going to get paid off. I can't worry about it so much because I'm already putting $396 a month towards it. So it's not like I'm not putting anything towards the debt and have now been since July of last year, been putting that much towards it. So the debt's getting paid. Um, I'm trying not to chase a paycheck so much. It's just hard not to when I'm doing everything by myself. But one of the things I took away from the Debt Confessions episode that I shot last Sunday was that I really need to work on having a support system. Um, it's just really difficult to build connections and relationships as an adult. I think that's been one of the most difficult things about being an adult, is having a lack of connection. Um, I have friends. I always have had friends, but um, in New York City, it's just been very difficult to make friends. I have friends in different states. I mean, at this point, about 70% of the people on my phone are people who don't live in New York City. Um, and I think that one of the things that I've just always felt is I didn't want to be a burden on other people. So reaching out to people was always challenging. It used to be I didn't reach out to people at all. Now I'm doing it, but not super consistent. So I used to send like one text a day to people to try to catch up with them. Um, and that kind of works. I follow up with people that way. But once again, it's just in New York City, everybody's working all the time, so it's just really difficult to build friendships and relationships. Um, that's definitely, I think, the reason why when things get challenging at work, I don't know what to do because I'm trying to be my emotional support, my financial support, I'm the cook, I'm the person doing the laundry, I'm the person doing everything. I'm making the appointments. I'm, gonna vote soon, so like I've got to keep up with that. Like what day am I gonna do that? Like everything, I'm doing everything by myself. And it is exhausting. And I would say this week I don't feel necessarily like depressed, but I do feel I just feel drained. I think I felt drained most of the year, to be honest. Um I feel very depleted. Um and I'm trying to find my joy again. But I was like, I don't feel joyful. I just haven't in a while. I think the last time I felt joyful was when I was on tour. Uh and ironically enough, I think it was the day before our tour ended, I was like in tears because I, I don't know if it was me having a premonition, but I just knew 2024 was going to be challenging. And I remember the day before New Year's, I think it was, well, of course, New Year's Eve, when we were doing the countdown, I remember being in tears. Like I just wasn't excited about this year. Like I don't know why. I think maybe I just knew this year was going to be a challenge and it has been. I think In my adult life, I can't honestly say there are on a lot of years that have been really, really, really rough, but 2013, the year that my first year out of college, was really challenging. But I mean, that one involved the death of a friend, so that one was a lot worse because I was mourning a death of my friend. Um, but this time in 2024, I, I lost a job. I lost an opportunity to do in January when I went to go do a contract and it fell through. Um, I was singing on the T bus and then that fell through. I thought I had a job that I loved and then it was taken away, but then it may not have been in alignment with my integrity anyway. So, yeah, I think one of the hardest parts is just being by yourself all the time. Like, I don't really know how to connect with people. It's really difficult and it's really hard to reach out because I feel like people don't know how to hold space for you when you're struggling with things. I think people only want to hear the positive, and life is very nuanced. um, I mean, I went from losing a job to having two, well, technically three. Um, and I still was booking singing acting work. I should be really, really joyful, but I'm not really feeling that. Um, I'm trying to stay positive, but it is hard. I've been reading this book called Atomic Habits, and it's probably one of the best books I've read in a while. I borrowed it from my cousin. Um, I'm about halfway through the book, and I'm trying to look at the goals that I wrote for the year. Usually, I write like 16 goals. This year, I only wrote 5. And ironically enough, I've hit a good chunk of them. So one of them was to submit for acting work. I've done that pretty much for months now, and I've been booking work. Then another one was to post on my blog every week. I've pretty much done that. I think I missed like maybe 2 weeks the entire year. I've been posting that blog every week. Um, my next thing was to add videos. That was in a part of the blog as well. I haven't been posting my videos on the blog. Eventually, I do want to get to that point, but I'm trying to finish this 33 Jobs in 17 Years series, which will be done soon. The other one was cook meals at home and reach my goal weight. So ironically, I had been cooking more before I lost the job. I felt like I was eating at home more than I probably ever have in my adult life, but I still got back into some poor habits the last few months. So I'm trying to go back to putting my debit card in my drawer, like not taking it with me where places, so that I can not be tempted to buy food because my way of dealing with stress as an adult has been to eat. Um, I don't binge eat the way I used to, for sure, but I still am eating the wrong things a lot of the times. And I thought that the easiest part would be eating better, but it is challenging because I'm really addicted to sugar. I mean, I read a book about it, about giving it up, and I read that book I think twice. And I still cannot seem to get over this sugar addiction. Like it's really hardcore. And I know that at this point I'm eating a decent amount of calories. Like I'm not under eating or overeating, but I definitely the quality of what I'm eating is not the best. It could be improved. Um the good thing about the catering job is that when I work a catering shift, I'm probably getting the best meal I get all week. So when I work in catering, they feed us before the shift. And they feed us a decent meal. Like it's not junk food. So that is a way for me to eat healthier at least a few days a week. I'm thinking of packing less in my lunch. Because currently I'm my lunch break is at 10:30, which is really early. I feel like I'm waking up in the morning and I'm just not hungry. So But by the time I feel hungry, then you know, it's 1 or 2 o'clock, maybe noon. Noon would be better. I would prefer to eat at noon. But my current lunch break at the school is 10:30. And at 10:30, I'm just not hungry. But I also have food that's refrigerated and there's no lounge to put it in, so I don't know. So I'm thinking of just packing less in my lunch and then just eating dinner when I'm catering. Because this week I'm working in catering 4 out of 5 days. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday I'm working in catering. On Monday I can go home, cook something, and then go to rehearsal for the fire ensemble. I'm gonna try to go this week because that's really my only social outlet is doing the fire ensemble. Leaving the debit card at home because just having it is just not helping. Like I keep tapping, swiping. I can't stop. So I'm gonna buy my Subway pass today for the week, and then I'm just not gonna touch it unless I have to get something grocery wise. But I really have to get back into the habit of not using the debit card. Maybe even considering withdrawing cash to keep me from eating out. And I notice I'm doing it just because it's a habit. Like it's not even because I'm hungry all the time. I'm just, oh, it's a bodega. Oh, it's a store. It's like I realize that my brain is like, oh, it's a bodega. Get something to eat. Bodega. Go get something to eat. And there's one on every corner. Um, and that's what this book is talking about. Is like your habits are kind of ingrained a bit after a while. Like you just start doing the same thing and there's cues that's making you do the thing. So for me the cue is the bodega. So the thing that I have to do is to not have the access to the money to spend, and maybe after a month or two of that, maybe I can continue to carry my debit card because it won't be a habit anymore of me going to the bodega and getting something. Um and then I learned that when you want to change and habit, you need to make it obvious. You need to make it attractive. You need to make it easy and make it satisfying. So I've been walking 5 miles a day now since about 2021. I think it was like maybe April of 2021 when I started walking. So that'll be almost 4 years that I've been walking consistently. I'm not saying I do it every single day, but most days I do. And then there's some days when I'm off where I may walk 8 miles. Um, so when I was at my heaviest, I was at 196 in 2021, and it was really heavy. That's the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I never thought I could get up to 196 because at the very beginning of the pandemic, I did start working out and I was working out with my roommate who was a trainer, and I was in the 170s then. And then she ended up moving. I ended up teaching full time and I was stressed out. I was working online, and so I gained 30 pounds very quickly. Like from probably July of 2020 until like January, I think I gained about 30 pounds because I wasn't being active. I wasn't doing anything. I mean, New York City makes you active because you really do have to go up and down a lot of steps all the time and you're constantly walking. But during the pandemic, I was working from home and I was working all day and then going to grad school and then trying to do lesson plans and all of that. So I was always in an apartment, and I discovered Uber Eats and DoorDash and all of that. So I was using those and I was eating out all the time and I had the money to do it because I was teaching. So yeah, I end up overeating a lot. And probably my inactivity is what caused that rapid weight gain. But also, I turned 30 right before the pandemic. I turned 30 in November of 2019, and the pandemic hit in December. Well, it shut everything down in America in March of 2020. But basically, when you turn 30, your body does change. And I never had a healthy diet. To be frank, I was never that active. But I would gain like maybe 10 pounds here and then lose it, gain 10 pounds, lose it. It was always like a 10 pound, maybe 15-pound range that I kind of just wiggled through from college on in throughout my 20s. I was usually between like 140 to 160 150. And then in 2018, I was hitting the 150s and staying there. Then in 2019, I hit the 160s. 2020, the 170s. 2021, I got up to 196. Um, so I started this habit where I would walk every day, and I'm trying to remember, like, how did I make it a habit? Um, well, I realized that I enjoyed doing it because I don't remember walking 5 miles originally. I think it was probably 30 minutes, and then I maybe increased it to an hour, and then I ended up doing 5 miles. Um, and a lot of the times when I'm off from work, as soon as I get up, I brush my teeth, wash my face, and I would have showered the night before because that's usually when I shower. And then I'll go out and I'll just go on a walk, and that's pretty consistent unless it's raining. And then even on the days that it rains, I'll still sometimes do it once the rain has stopped. I'll still go for a walk. I've walked in cold weather because I realized that even when it's winter time, if you have on a coat, you're gonna get hot eventually. So after you've walked that long, you will start to get hot. So you can walk in cold weather. A lot of people don't think you can, but you can. Um, Especially if you're walking that long. The summers are definitely the best time. It does get pretty hot though. I try to do more morning walks during the summer. But walking definitely helped me lose weight the most. I think some people think you have to kill yourself in the gym, but to be honest, mm, you can. I do think it helps you tone up if you do things in the gym. It helps you with the tone. But when it comes to just working out, walking is enough. Like, if you want to run, you can run. But I'm like, I think I liked running in gym class. Like, that was the only thing I felt like I was good at because I wasn't good at sports. But I mean, you can run if you want to. But I've read that running can kind of also mess with your body a little bit too because it can put a lot of strain on it. But then everyone's different because you got 80 and 90, you got 70 and 80-year-olds who run. So, I mean, hey, it's to each his own. For me, running, I did try it. I did download this app called Couch to 5K, and I did try to run, but running on the treadmill is really boring. Running outside in New York City is not easy. Um, because there's a stop on almost every, you know, sidewalk that like there's always a you have to keep stopping. Unless you just want to run on a corner over and over again, which is what I think I used to do, was what I just ran on my block over and over again. Um, but it just the concrete after a while it starts to mess with your knees a bit. Um, so for me, walking has helped me a lot. I think people underestimate the power of just moving your feet on the ground. You don't have to kill yourself for 2 to 3 hours in the gym. Just go for a walk. And I feel better when I go for walks. I do. Even though I'm not feeling the joy that I usually have felt in the past, I do feel really good when I take a walk. I usually listen to a podcast or I listen to music. And I know some people think if you do that, you can't hear, but I'm like, this is New York City. I can hear all the things. I can hear what people are behind me. I can hear all the sirens. I can hear everything. Even if I'm listening to something on my headset, I can hear. Um, it's just hard not to because everything is really loud. Um, so, if you I mean, to each his own. Like, some people, you know, don't mind being like carrying extra weight. For me, not 196 felt really uncomfortable. I just felt like I was really heavy, and it wasn't even a lack of confidence. It just was a lack of energy. I felt like I was not um physically out. Things were starting to hurt in a way that they hadn't before. Um, so I can't say I made a drastic habit change. I just started walking. And once I started doing it, it just became a habit. And I'm trying to think, what process did I do to get it to be a habit? Because this book is basically talking about why do we do what we do, and how do we make the changes. And I'm like, now I can't imagine a day where I don't walk 5 miles. And even if I skip a day, I know that I will do it again. So I'm like, what did I do? I think maybe because I made it one of the first things I did. But then on the days that I have work, I'll just do it after work. Sometimes the way my jobs are set up, I end up walking a lot anyway. In catering, I probably end up walking 3 to 5 miles anyway, just at work. And now that I'm working at the public school, I'm on the third floor, so I'm going up and downstairs all day. Um, so yeah. So currently I'm 158 today. I weighed myself and I haven't been under 160 in a while. I was surprised. I was like, I haven't been 158 since 2019. Yeah, it was 2019. So, yeah, I have not been that weight since 2019. Which was now almost 6 years ago. It's been a slow progression. A slow progression. Hold on 2 seconds. Sorry, I just realized that my computer is about to die. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry about that. Alright. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Working out doesn't have to be excruciating. Do what works for you. For me, walking is it. Um, Walking does a lot more than people think it does. Um, it's a cardio workout, so you're getting the cardiovascular stuff you need. It's moving your entire body. Your arms are moving, your legs are moving during the walk. Um, if you wear the right shoes, I've been wearing New Balance shoes for a few months now, 6 months now. At this point, because I'm having issues with my feet, and that's not because of walking, that's just because I have flat feet, and I don't have arch support on my feet, so it just makes it difficult. So now I do have to invest in better shoes because I can't wear any shoe anymore without it being without my feet hurting. So New Balances have been great. They really have helped with the pain on my left foot. Um, Definitely diet has been the biggest struggle of change for me. So the first habit that I got rid of was using DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. I just stopped those accounts. I tried to download them again and tried it again and realized this isn't going to work. So I'm definitely addicted to food. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But if you're addicted to food, the last thing you need is DoorDash or Grubhub or um what's the other one? Uber Eats. It's the last thing you need. At least if I'm going to eat out, I'm going to walk to it. So that's why now I'll go to bodegas, I'll go to a McDonald's, I go to a Pizza Hut, but I walk there. I mean, the closest Pizza Hut is like 20-minute walk from me. So it's not like if I am eating something, I am walking to it. I'm not having it coming to me because it's just too easy. It's too convenient, and it is expensive. But for some reason, the expense is not helping me eat healthier for some reason. I like, but Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, if you have a food addiction, not the best thing to do because it's coming to your door. It's like the food is just walking into your home. At least when you're walking, you can control what you're buying to some extent, or you have a little bit more control about it. So in 2021, when I was 196, I just knew, okay, I'm almost 200 pounds. I don't want to get heavier than that. So I started walking. And then I got rid of DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. I got rid of them. I stopped using those apps. Did download them again, like I said, and then just realized can't do it. And haven't done it since about 2021. Haven't done any of them because I can't. Um, and that's just something I learned about myself. Food is an addiction for me, and I can't have access to it that easily. Um, so then this year I've been cooking more at home. So I've been cooking my breakfast, lunch, like I've been making that on a Sunday and then eating it throughout the week. Dinner, sometimes I've been making it at home. It's still processed though. I'll make something that I could cook in a pot, and then I will maybe cook a meat and then put that meat with it throughout the week. But I still find myself going to the bodega to get a sandwich or something. One other thing I did in 2021 that I haven't been as consistent about, but actually was consistent about from 2023 into 2024, was logging my meals. A lot of people think calorie counting is a trigger for them. And if it is a trigger for you, don't do it. But also, um, by doing logging my meals, it taught me how many calories I was over consuming because I didn't realize. The reason I gained weight so quickly is yes, because of my metabolism probably slowed down because I'm in my 30s. Yes, I was inactive because of the pandemic, but also I was overeating and I didn't know. I didn't even realize it. So once I started tracking how many calories I was eating every day, even if I wasn't making immediate changes to the food, it gave me an idea of what was happening and also how I was feeling on those days when I would go over, like what's going on, what's happening with me that's making me overeat. And I've been trying to check myself more like, okay, are you really hungry? Or are you just eating because you feel sad, you feel lonely, you feel uh frustrated, you feel like something just happened and this is the only way you know how to deal with it, and just checking myself and trying to make sure that I'm following up with that. So with my fitness pal, I haven't been as consistent in the last few months, but for a year, almost 200 something days in a row, I had been doing it. So I'm gonna try to start doing that again because my goal is to reach 145 by the end of the year, and currently I'm 13 pounds from my goal weight. I haven't been 145 since 2017. But my goal is to be 145, and then maybe I'll start, getting some weights like my cousin has suggested, and then maybe just doing weights at home. Because I do want to tone up, but yeah, food is hard. And if you are addicted to it, which a lot of people don't believe it's addiction, everybody says just be disciplined, just be disciplined. It's not that simple. If you have a food addiction, it's just not. Because it's the one thing that is always in your face. When you go to work, they're always having cupcakes. They're always having cookies. When I'm in catering, there's food all around. The thing about catering that kind of helps is that I know it's not my food, other than when they feed us. So they feed the staff and then you serve the food. The thing about catering is generally that's the guest food, the client's food, so you don't eat it. A lot of the times I don't eat it. But at the end of the night, and we know that the party is coming to an end, I might eat some, but I'm trying not to. Like I'm almost thinking I just need to dump the food like completely. Like dump, like not the food that's on the tables, but we're talking about the food that is, sometimes they'll have little desserts on like a platter for them to just pick up because they have like a cocktail thing after the event. I think that's more what I gotta do because, yeah, because I thought I had gained weight the last couple of weeks because I feel like I've been eating later at night too, because I'm getting off at 11, 12 o'clock. So the main things with losing weight for me was walking every day. I've had a gym membership off and on, The most consistent I went to the gym was when I was in Memphis, right before I moved to New York. I was there. I worked out with a trainer from December of 2015 until August of 2016. And that was the most toned I probably ever was. And I was probably in the best shape, even though diet was still not that great. Um, but I was more toned probably than I ever had. Like you could see my muscles and everything. Like it was nice. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But I'd like to get to that again. But I'm currently a member of a gym, but I don't really go. So well, I froze my account, and I think what I'm gonna do is cancel that membership once the freeze is over because I'm not using it. And I was going to Zumba classes, which I enjoyed, but once again, my knees are starting to give me issues because of my feet being a problem. Because I think it's plantar fasciitis, and it's aggravated by the fact that I've always had flat feet, and you not having arch support really messes with your everything. So, also me working at Cipriani with those hard steps for so long also seems to have made an issue happen with my legs, my knees, and my feet. They're not horrible, like, but it's just like it definitely I can feel the pain slightly. I'm trying to be careful with that. And that's why I don't think Zumba classes were aggravating it. And that sucks because I really like Zumba classes. And I really like jumping I love jumping. Like I like doing jumping jacks and stuff, but I can't do it the way I used to because I can feel that it aggravates the problem. So walking doesn't seem to aggravate it as much. Because it's a habit at this point. And I enjoy walking because it's beautiful in New York. It is. You wouldn't think. But it is really pretty, especially when it's sunny outside and it's a beautiful sky. You can see the sky, particularly in Brooklyn more. Um, People are a lot happier, I feel like, when it's sunny outside. Um, it's been taking forever for it to get cold. It's not really, this is a warm fall. This is October. It's October 20th. Oh my gosh, I'll be 35 in a month from today. Um, yeah, it's kind of weird. Because when I walked out today, I'm like, I have on a jacket, I'm hot. And it's not even a heavy jacket, it's a light jacket. Um, so I don't know. I think it's 62 degrees, but that's still kind of warm for October. Um, so yeah, eating healthier also does make I think it makes things that are really challenging and difficult in life a little bit better. So I just need to get to the point where I'm eating healthier. One of the things I learned from the book was that you need to say, I will change this behavior, put the behavior in this parentheses. I will behavior at time in location. So what I'm thinking of doing is I will grab my lunchbox at when I in the kitchen when I leave the house so that I will know to eat what I cooked and not eat out there. And another one I wrote was I will eat staff meal at 5 p.m. at Tribeca Rooftop. I'm also trying intermittent fasting. I really want, and I've done that a few times, but I really think I want to eat between noon and 5 p.m. It's just for on the days I'm at work, it's 10:30. Um, and on those days, I may do 10:30 to 5:30. Um, and then I will leave my debit card at home during the week. Um, so yeah. Um, that's pretty much it. I was pretty good. I mean, I was happy that I was 158.8. Like that's nice. Like that's the smallest I've been in a while, and because I thought I had gained weight, but I also was on my TMI, but I was also on my period this week, so that could have been why I was feeling more bloated. Also, sometimes when I eat certain things, I feel bloated. So I also have to watch what I'm eating more because I can tell that it does affect my body. I do feel bloated or I feel heavy when I eat really sugar, a lot of sugar. I'm trying to stop drinking coffees. I don't like coffee that much, but I like sugary coffee. And so really I just like sugar in my, well, I like coffee in my sugar, if you know what I'm saying. And it's sucks. Like I don't want to be addicted to sugar, but it's just hard not to because it is always around. Um, and Lord knows I have tried so many different methods to do moderation. I've tried it. I even try, my cholesterol was up and I've gotten it down because I have made small changes. But it isn't about making the drastic changes, it's about making the small changes. And I think that's what this book is basically about, Atomic Habits. I had actually read another book called The Power of Habit a few years back, and that might have been how I started walking, but I can't remember. But habits have to have cues and cravings, rewards, and that's how you end up into the cycle of doing the same thing over and over again. For me, cue, I see a bodega. I have a craving for a food. I get the food. I feel better. And it just keeps happening over and over again. So it's, yeah, I think that's right. It's cue, reward. Sorry, it's cue, craving, reward, response, reward, I believe. Um, so I'm gonna keep reading the book and then I'll give it back to my cousin. Um, I think it's a really good book, and I think that if you want to make changes in your life, even just small ones, just it's really about the daily things. It's not about making big change. It's about if you change the small things, over time you will see results. And even though in the past year it seems like, well, dang, Dominique, you're not much further along than you were last year. But that's not true because I submitted for more auditions this year. I booked quite a bit of acting work. I have put $5,000 towards my debt. I put money in my savings for the first time in years. I finally am getting closer to my goal weight than I've been in a long time. So the changes have happened. And I cooked more at home this year than I ever have. Even though I definitely eat out more than I would like, I still have made changes. They've been small and they've been gradual. And that's really what it's about. Weight loss is not about losing it in 90 days, but just trying to make small changes. Because at the end of the day, a food addiction isn't about the food. Usually it's because you're missing something else, and that you're using food to cope with life. And one of the things I've got to continue to work on is having a support system. So I'll keep working on that. I hope you have a lovely week, and this has been Southern Girl in the City. Bye.